Snow White, the pure-hearted princess. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by tall mountains and silver rivers, there lived a beautiful girl named Snow White. Her skin was as fair as snow, her lips as red as roses, and her heart as pure as sunlight. But her beauty made her stepmother, the queen, jealous and cruel. The queen's mirror always said, "You are beautiful, but Snow White is fairer than you." One cold morning, the queen's anger grew so dark that she ordered Snow White to be taken deep into the forest and never return. But the kind-hearted girl, instead of crying, prayed for the queen's heart to change. Lost in the forest, Snow White found a small cottage with 7 tiny chairs and 7 little beds. It was the home of 7 dwarfs. The dwarfs welcomed with open arms. Snow White began a new life there, cooking, cleaning, singing, and bringing happiness to everyone around her. Her laughter filled the forest, and even the birds and deer danced to her songs. But the queen soon discovered through her mirror that Snow White was still alive. Enraged, she disguised herself as an old woman and went to the forest with a basket of shiny red apples. One of them was poisoned. When Snow White took a bite, she fell into a deep, endless sleep. Days passed into nights, and the dwarfs wept beside her glass coffin, which they placed under a grand oak tree. The forest grew silent, as if mourning her loss. But one day, a prince riding through the woods saw the sleeping princess. Her beauty and peace touched his soul. He gently lifted her hands with whisper, "You are too beautiful for the silence." At that moment, a soft breeze passed and a piece of poisoned apple slipped from her lips. Snow White opened her eyes, the dwarfs rejoiced, and the prince smiled through his tears. Grateful and full of love, Snow White forgave the queen in her heart and returned to the castle, not for revenge, but to bring kindness where hate once lived. Her courage and forgiveness melted the queen's cruelty, and peace returned to the kingdom. Snow White and her princess very soon married in a grand celebration filled with laughter, music, and flowers. From that day on, the people remembered her not just for her beauty, but for her heart, pure, brave, and full of love. And thus the story of Snow White became a tale that stars still whispers, a story of true love, kindness, and the victory of goodness ever and always.